Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks, and welcome to the city of Salamanca. And straight off the bat, I'm going to tell you that this is one of the best cities that I have seen in Spain. And if you want to find out why, stay tuned. Now, before I get into why this is, in my opinion, of course, one of the best cities in Spain, I'll get some geography out of the way. We're talking about Castilla León here, the autonomous community of Castilla y León, and we're in a city of around 145,000 people. I think that's the figure, don't quote me on that. If you want more information, look it up on the internet, but around 145,000 people I think live in this city, and that is one of the pros. And Salamanca is one of the 9 provinces in the autonomous community of Castilla y León. If you want to know why this is one of the better cities in Spain, in my opinion, this is the reason. Because it's full of amazing monuments and you never get tired of walking through the streets here. Everywhere you go in the old part of Salamanca, you see amazing buildings like this. But the building that I have behind me here pales into comparison when you see the cathedrals, because I don't think a building has taken my breath away like the 2 cathedrals in this city. Absolutely amazing, and we'll see those in a minute or two. Now, another one of the pros of Salamanca is that it is a very clean city. People are cleaning this city all the time, picking up after the locals, picking up after the tourists, who I must say don't leave a lot of litter on the ground, but nonetheless, there are people cleaning this city constantly. Monday through to Sunday, you will see workers cleaning the streets, and that, as I said, is a pro. Now, another thing I'm going to mention is just how easy it is to walk the streets of this city. As you can see, this part really flat, so easy to get around. Walking, in my opinion, is the best way to get around, but there are other types of transport. You could take a bike, scooter, there's lots of cars. Not in this area, obviously, but Salamanca is a car city, but getting around on foot, very easy indeed. And around every corner in the old part of town, you come across something like this. Breathtaking. Now, Salamanca is a university city. It's a city of learning, and the student vibe here is incredible. Students from all over Spain and all over the world come here to study. And I must say that when you walk around these majestic streets, you feel the urge to read a book. Everywhere you go in this part of town, you come across a university building, and of course, university students who, at the moment, are on their way to class. But of course, it's at night and at the weekends where you really feel that university student vibe. People out and about enjoying the great food and great drink in this part of Spain. And here is the Universidad Pontificia de Salamanca. Wow. Now, while I'm on the subject of food and drink, I'm going to say that Salamanca has an abundance of great bars and restaurants. And the surprising thing for me is that the prices of things here aren't all that expensive. Because it's a student city, it means that you can get a cheap meal, a cheap drink still in Spain. And that has become a rare thing over the last decade or so. Last night, I sampled some of the local food and drink, and my wallet, fortunately, didn't take a hit, and that is always a pro. Now, this impressive building that I have in front of me is one of the 2 cathedrals in this city. The cathedrals here are co-joined, I believe. We have an old cathedral and a new cathedral, and I'm going to be honest, this building has absolutely blown me away. And basically, it doesn't matter where you are in this city, you always have this cathedral as a reference point, and that's fantastic also. Another university building bang smack in front of the cathedrals. And when you see buildings like this, you realize just how important Salamanca has been over the centuries. It might not be the most important town in Spain nowadays, but I reckon that it was a very important city back in the day. Because let's be honest, you're not going to build something like this if it is not an important city. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about the history of Salamanca. All I'm going to say is that it has been, as I just mentioned, an important city over the centuries here in Spain, and everywhere you walk around this old part of town, you sense that history. But what I'm going to do today is see if this city is a decent city when it comes to quality of life, and if it is a city that you should look at if you're considering a move to Spain. That's the objective of today's video, but fortunately I'm also going to show you around and have a look at all of the fantastic sites, so another pro. But what I will say is that even if you're not considering a move to Spain, just a visit to Spain, you have to put this city on your list of places to visit. In fact, I would put it right up there, perhaps at number 1 or 2. Now, when it comes to quality of life, I reckon that this city is right up there with some of the best quality of life here in Spain. It's a provincial capital, and as I always say, provincial capitals are the best places to live here in Spain because they're not big, they're manageable, you can get around easily, prices are cheaper for everything, food, drink, renting, everything is cheaper here. And basically, when it comes to quality of life, you can't beat a city like Salamanca. And when you see the locals here and when you meet some of the locals here, you realize that they have a very, very good quality of life living in a fantastic city. The architecture in this city is truly breathtaking, amazing. Now we're going to head down to one of my favorite parts of the city, the river area, the banks of the river, fantastic. But I've come across a very strange shop here that sells snacks, coffee, regalos, gifts, and it's also a sex shop. So I reckon you'd be able to find everything you need in that shop. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video, this is an incredibly easy city to get around, whether it's on foot, whether you're riding a bike, whether you're on a scooter, you can get around very, very easily indeed. There's a bike scheme, you can hire bikes, and you can probably hire them privately as well. But the council has a bike scheme set up, so that is fantastic. And I imagine that's because of the amount of students here. They use the council bikes to get around this city. Not electric, I don't think, but an easy way to get around the city nonetheless. Now here we have another standout in this city, the Roman Bridge, and this was the only way to cross this river for centuries and centuries until they built some of the new bridges. And this bridge here is over 350 meters long, and it's an amazing feat of engineering built by the Romans back in the day. Incredible. And here's an example of how this cathedral, or the top of the cathedral, is always visible. Now the idea here is to cross the bridge. Salamanca is built up on both sides of the city. You've got residential living on that side of the city. There's also residential living on the other side of the city as well, where the old part of Salamanca is. So you could live on either side of the city. I don't think it matters. I think it all comes down to personal preference. But from what I've seen on this side of Salamanca, where the camera's pointed to, there is a lot of construction. For example, over there, you can get an idea of the type of flats that have been set up on that side of the river. And there's the river in question, El Río Tormes, the Tormes River. And the river also adds something special to this city, in my opinion. Rush hour in Salamanca at 8:28 a.m. A bit of traffic, but manageable. Now the city has that fantastic river, but as we can see here, you can't swim in it. Atención, prohibido bañarse en el río. You can't get much clearer than that, can you? Now when it comes to getting to this city from other parts of Spain, very, very easy to do. There's plenty of ways to get here. The car, I think, would be the best option. You can also get here by train. You could also get here by bus. So those are the options when it comes to getting to this city. And I will say that it is a well-connected city by motorway to other cities here in Spain, most notably Madrid, but also other cities in Castilla y León. They have a good motorway system and all of the cities are well connected. So that's a pro. Cycle paths, another great thing that I have seen in this city, as I said before, inviting you to do exercise. And with the views that you have when riding a bike on these cycle paths, I reckon that is something that you would want to do, or at least I would want to ride a bike in this city. Now the first thing I did when I arrived here in Salamanca was book into my hotel, but the second thing I did in this city was connect to my VPN. Now what's a VPN, I hear you asking? Well, it stands for Virtual Private Network, and the VPN that I use here in Spain is NordVPN. And why do I use NordVPN? Well, because it keeps me safe when I'm on the internet, and that is very, very important. Internet privacy is the most most important thing nowadays. It used to be the case that the biggest threat to travelers was found in the cities themselves, but nowadays the biggest threats are online, and NordVPN, as I said, keeps you safe. Because when you're using public Wi-Fi, and let's be honest, we all use public Wi-Fi nowadays, whether it's at the hotel, restaurant, bar, or anywhere else that they offer public Wi-Fi, you need to be safe when you're on the internet. And NordVPN, as I said, keeps you safe. It's threat protection against malware, phishing, and password attacks. And nobody wants to get their data or passwords ripped off while surfing the internet. And Nord is also fantastic because it gives you the possibility to access content that might be geo-blocked here in Spain. So if you want to watch your favorite series on Netflix, if you want to tune in to BBC iPlayer, you can do that with NordVPN. And another pro about NordVPN is that you can use it on multiple devices. You can connect with your phone, your laptop, your iPad, all at the same time with NordVPN. Now, Nord currently has a special offer. If you get a 2-year deal with Nord, they'll throw in 4 months absolutely free. So a great deal. So click that link below to take advantage of that special offer, and remember that safer internet is only 1 click away with NordVPN. Now back to the video. Now we'll continue walking through the streets of Salamanca, and we'll head to the jewel of this city that is the Plaza Mayor, or the main square. So stay tuned for that. Now when it comes to weather and climate in this city, fairly typical as with other parts of Spain. This particular part of Spain, hot summers, cold winters. Now I first came to Salamanca back in 1992, 1993, and I remember it as one of the coldest places that I have ever been to. In fact, walking through these streets in January, I think it was, maybe December, back then, my nose was literally frozen. So a very, very cold city in winter. Cold winds, and it also snows here. But in summer, it can get very, very hot. So the best time to visit Salamanca, spring or autumn, as with other parts of Spain, here in the center at least. Here's another example of how those cathedrals tower over the city and are visible from virtually everywhere you go. Now when it comes to food and drink here in Salamanca, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you won't be disappointed. Decent prices, and there's a lot on offer. Mainly meat based, because we're in one of the most important ham producing parts of Spain. The city of Guijuelo is not far away from here, and of course Salamanca is famous for its hams and other pork products, so you have to try those when here, if you're not a vegetarian, of course. And when it comes to wine, even though Salamanca is not a wine producing area, there are some fantastic wine producing areas in the autonomous community of Castilla y León. For example, Toro, just up the road, and you've also got Valladolid, another province here, where you get the famous white and red wines from the Ribera del Duero area. So good wine in this part of Spain, also readily available and fantastic. Another monument to take your breath away. And as I said, everywhere you go in this old part of Salamanca, you see things like this. Incredible. In fact, I could walk the streets of this town all day and all night and never get tired. And in fact, it's when the sun goes down and the lights come on in this city when you should really get out and about and explore, because it's absolutely fantastic to see this city at night. And also, I'm going to say that it is a safe city. Have not had a problem. Of course, you're going to come across the odd drunk dickhead every now and again, but that's going to happen everywhere, right? And another thing that has impressed me about Salamanca is the green spaces like the one that I have here. Places that you can come, relax, sit down on the grass, take in what this city has to offer, and just basically enjoy the day in a fantastic park. And there's plenty of them throughout the city, so another pro. Now I'm going to see if I can find the Plaza Mayor, which apparently is in the top 5 Plaza Mayors or town squares in the whole of Europe. So we'll see if it lives up to the hype. All right, up the stairs to the Plaza Mayor, and we'll see if it is as impressive as they say. Let's have a look. Wow, wow, wow. Now, I mentioned before the author James A. Michener and his book Iberia, and I'm going to read you a quote from that book about this Plaza Mayor. Salamanca's Plaza Mayor is one of the finest in Spain and one of the 4 best in the world. St. Mark's in Venice has a richer variety of architecture. The Zocalo in Mexico City is larger in expanse, and the barbaric Asian splendor of the Registan in Samarkand is without equal. But the Plaza Mayor is unique in that its spacious area is bordered on all 4 sides by what amounts to one continuous building, 4 stories high and graced with an unending arcade of great architectural beauty. It is the most harmonious plaza extant, with its repetitious balconies and windows providing just enough accent and its blending colours creating a vision of amber loveliness. On a sunny afternoon, with the sidewalk cafes filled and with the parade of charming girls in progress, it has a human warmth that the other great plazas lack, and it's worth a considerable trip to see. Absolutely, Mr. Michener, and I couldn't have said it better myself. And when you come here in the afternoon and you see these bars and restaurants absolutely packed with people, you realize that this is a very, very special place indeed. And here's another emblematic building in the city of Salamanca, which also featured in Michener's book, the Casa de las Conchas, or the Shell House, I think would be the translation in English. Another standout. Now it's time, unfortunately for me at least, to wrap this video up from the magnificent city of Salamanca, and I'll say that word again, magnificent city here in Spain. I have really enjoyed my time here, and it's definitely a city that you should consider if planning to come and live here in Spain or even visiting Spain. Put this city on your list. In fact, make it one of the top 3 cities to visit here in Spain. You will not regret it, because it's a city that offers so much. It's got history, things to see, emblematic buildings everywhere you go in the old part of town. It has a fantastic river and a very, very high quality of life. And that's why I recommend Salamanca. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. If you have anything to add to the conversation today, please, the comment section is the place for you. If you have been to Salamanca, let me know your opinion of the place in the comment section below also. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego from Salamanca.